Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Channavala Girivardhari Gopi Channavala Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Bhalava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today for Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, Text 38. Chapter is called The Advent of Lord Krishna. Mrityor Janmavatang Vira Dehena Sahajayate Ajavava Shatanteva Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Mrityorjanmavatang vira. Dehena sahajayate. Ajavabda shatanteva. Mrityorvai praninam dhruvaha. Word for word synonyms. With you, death. Janmavatam, of the living entities who have taken birth. Vira, O great hero. Dehena saha, along with the body. Jayate, is born. One who has taken birth is sure to die. Adya, today. Va, either. Abdashatta, of hundreds of years. Ante, at the end. Va, or Mrityu, death. Vai, indeed. Praninam, for every living entity. Dhruvaha is assured. Translation. This is still Vasudeva preaching to Kamsa, trying to convince him not to kill Devaki. O great hero, one who takes birth is sure to die, for death is born with the body. One may die today or after hundreds of years. but death is sure for every living entity. Repeat after me. O great hero, one who takes birth is sure to die, for death is born with the body. One may die today or after hundreds of years, but death is sure for every living entity. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Vasudeva wanted to impress upon Kamsa that although Kamsa feared dying and therefore wanted to kill even a woman, he could not avoid death. Death is sure. Why then should Kamsa do something that would be detrimental to his reputation and that of his family? As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 27, Chatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tadmad apariharye vrite natvang shochitum arhasi. Quote, for one who has taken his birth, death is certain. And for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. End quote. One should not fear death, rather, one should prepare oneself for the next birth. One should utilize one's time in the human form to end the process of birth and death. It is not that to save oneself from death, one should entangle oneself in sinful activities. This is not good. Om Jnana Timiranda Shagina Shakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, actually, it's a very interesting situation that Vasudeva is preaching. He's preaching to Kamsa. Kamsa is so much in anxiety. And he just heard that one of Devaki's children, eventually, in due course, is going to kill him. So he's immediately thinking, how can I stop this? How can I stop my death by this? Because I've been given this warning from the sky, the demigods. How can I stop this? But Vasudeva, he's actually preaching to him. Oh, Kamsa, you're not very intelligent. Maybe you're going to die. Everyone dies. So better that you don't worry about dying. Worry about preparing yourself for your next birth. Because in general, people in general act at the end of death, at the end of life, at the time of death, then most living entities will take another birth in the material world until we become fully Krishna conscious. That is, we'll take birth in the material world again and again, and so this is so even in Vedic culture, someone, an ordinary person, didn't take up the path of Krishna consciousness directly, immediately. I mean, generally, do not take up that path of Krishna consciousness because, and actually, Lord Krishna says this actually. Out of many thousands among men, hardly one endeavors for perfection, and of those who endeavor for perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Verse from Bhagavad Gita. So that was also true in the Vedic culture, thousands of years ago, millions of years ago. People in general were not really interested that, okay, my goal in life in this lifetime is to become fully God conscious, fully Krishna conscious, and go back to the spiritual world. They knew that that was ultimately the goal somewhere down the line. That's what they wanted. But most people, during their lifetime, they were performing sacrifice, worshiping the demigods, the different things, so that they could improve their material situation in the material atmosphere. Okay, I'm okay now, but in my next lifetime, if I perform the right sacrifices, I could become, maybe I become a king, or I become some powerful person, or or maybe I'll become very, very rich, or maybe I can elevate myself to the upper planetary systems, like that. Any of these, so all these options are there in the Vedic scriptures. In fact, the Vedic scriptures are mostly that. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna to give up reject the flowery words of the Vedas and just surrender to me. Flowery words means that you perform this ritual, this sacrifice, such and such. You do that, and then you can go to the heavenly planets, or you can get some superior sense gratification in your next lifetime. And so that was but Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't bother with all this. Give up all those. Don't accept those flowery words. Flowery words just means you're enjoying sense gratification here, and you're using the Vedic scriptures to increase your sense gratification for the future. That's why we say that Sri Rupa Goswami says, Anyavilasita Shunyam Jnana Karma Janavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. What does that mean? Anyone? The three things you have to you want pure devotional. It's a description of pure devotional service. No, that's a way of getting to pure devotional service. Something else. There are three qualifications for actually engaging in pure devotional service. It's generally. You have to be engaged. There's three things. You have to be engaged in devotional service. Favorable devotional service means some service that Krishna would like you to engage in, which means you do under the spiritual master. And then the other two have to do with your motives. You're doing that devotional service. Now, why are you doing that devotional service? Because you want to please Krishna, or you're doing that devotional service because you want that in the future I'll get some material benefit, or go to the heavenly planets, or get some material benefits. So pure devotional service means that I'm doing that good devotional service with my purpose, but I'm not mixing it with the idea that maybe I'll get some material enjoyment in the future because I'm doing devotional service, or I'm not I'm not aspiring that I will go merge in the Brahma Jyoti one day, or worse than merging in the Brahma Jyoti is merging into Krishna's body, because merging in the Brahma Jyoti means, of course, you're giving up temporarily your identity because you're merged like that. But worse worse than merging in the Brahmajyoti is merging into Krishna's own direct body, which can be done. We read about certain demons that happen to them. Why is that worse? That is there, but why? That's also in the Brahmajyoti. Why is merging in Krishna's body actually worse than merging in the Brahmajyoti? It's worse because if you desire to merge into Krishna's body, you are well aware that Krishna has an eternal personal form, and in spite of knowing that Krishna has an eternal personal form, you want to give up your individuality and just merge rather than serving Krishna. For someone who wants to merge in the Brahmajyoti, they may actually be thinking at the highest, probably are thinking that the highest goal, the highest truth is merging in that Brahmajyoti, and they say becoming one with God. If you're thinking like that, if you think that God is ultimately impersonal, then you may want to do like that. But if you know that God is personal and you're still saying, I just want to merge into his body, you're still giving up your individuality temporarily because you're in that form, but you're doing it with the knowledge that God actually has a personal form, and still I'm rejecting that form. So that's the difference. So Vasudeva, he's preaching to Kansa here, and he's urging Kansa that why kill Devaki, and you're afraid of dying, but you got to die anyway. I think in another later verse he'll also be saying. Sure, if I was pointing it out in the purport here, that one who has taken birth, death is certain, and when one is born, he will tell Kansa shortly that as soon as you take your birth, you already begin to die. So it's not like we're born and we're growing and we have so many things, and we're accomplishing so many things in our life, and then all of a sudden there's death. No, actually, because the body is temporary and the soul is eternal, then as soon as we're born, then death has already started. It's not. It's hard to get people, especially if someone's young, or someone's a child, or someone's got full of energy. Says, yeah, you're 10 years old, you're 16 years old, and you're already dying. No, I'm not dying. I can do anything. I'm strong. I'm energetic. I can jump. I can jump out of airplanes with parachute. What they call it, skydiving. I can so many crazy things that people do sometimes. I can do all these things. It's like your eternal feeling of eternity. I can do so many things, and I can get away with it. So they're thinking. So if you philosophically you tell someone that you were born 16 years ago, and 16 years ago you already started to die. Don't tell me those those things, but actually it's a fact. So, and of course, Kansa is not very. He's not a saintly person. He's actually of demoniac nature. But still, Vasudeva, who is a saintly person, he's preaching to him in this way, that you're worried about death, but actually you already started dying, when you were born. So don't worry about death. Worry about your preparing for your next life. And killing Devaki is not a good. It's not good for your next life. So better cool it. I don't think that was in the Sanskrit there, but that's how we understand like that. Just slow down. And of course, that verse from Bhagavad Gita that we just read in the purport: for one who has taken his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain, which is generally the system. Until we become Krishna conscious and go back to Godhead, we were taking birth after birth after birth, thousands and millions of births. So it's saying that's going to, for most people, this is what's going to happen. So don't avoid discharging your duties. In the course of discharging your duties, you should not lament. Because in any position in society, even in the strict varnashram society, whatever your position, there's always going to be some problems. It's a material world. There's always going to be problems in the and a person who might have, and in Vedic culture, generally people didn't, whatever their nature was, they acted according to their nature. They performed their duties as a varnashram system, and because there was certain, in any position in society, there are certain, we call rights. I'll use that terminology. Certain rights and certain responsibilities. Certain rights and certain responsibilities. Certain things you can do and certain things you must do because you're in that position. So someone might see the Kshatriya king. Oh, he's there in his big palace. He's collecting taxes from the people in general. He's very strong. He's a good king. He's famous. Everyone knows him. And I'm just a Shudra. I want to act as the king. I'll just become the king, But the thing is, the Shudra, and anyone can actually change their activities and change their nature if they want. But the Shudra, he may think, I want to be in that big position, but the other side is that for the king, he's in the big position, but he also has to risk his life to go out to and protect the citizens and fight. There's a war. There's a challenge. He has to be able to go out and fight. And the Shudra probably, they don't want that. They want the position, but they don't want the responsibility. So each varna, each part of this, the varnashram society, the system, you have certain rights according to your particular position you have, and you have certain responsibilities. You don't perform your responsibilities, and there will be reaction. And of course, the same thing applies, a little separate from the varnashram system. In our own lives, we have certain, as members of Hare Krishna movement, as disciples or grand disciples or great grand disciples sometimes now of Srila Prabhupada, we have certain we have certain opportunities, certain rights, you may say. Not rights, because everything is Krishna's mercy, but there's certain things anyone who can chant Hare Krishna, anyone can come and see the deities, anyone can, with a little qualification, can worship the deities like that. Anyone can do that, but we also have to be responsible. So certain rights and certain responsibilities, and both qualities have to go together. Rights and responsibilities. It's like the rights and responsibilities, the dynamic duo. Say, if you have your responsibility as a member of the Hare Krishna movement, and of course you've got all the benefits of living in a sattvic situation or pure sattvic situation, and serving Krishna and association with devotees. But you also have responsibility to act in a certain way to give Krishna consciousness to others, and a certain responsibility that if you're practicing Krishna consciousness, we have to chant your rounds. Got to follow the regular principles. You can't do as some have done and gone off and abusing children and different things that have happened. We know all these kind of things that happen. So you have a right to opportunity. Right means the opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness, and then you have certain responsibilities that you have to fulfill in order to have and to keep that particular position in the society, and even in a spiritual society. And if we give up those, we don't fulfill the responsibilities, then we end up losing the right. And we see that if someone becomes too offensive or too just deviates completely from the path of spiritual life, then they actually lose. Krishna actually takes away the opportunity to associate with devotees, the opportunity or at least the desire to chant Hare Krishna and so on. This is these are a couple of points. Any questions, comments?
Can you read the verse again?
Verse is, Vasudeva speaking to Kamsa, a great hero, one who takes birth is sure to die, for death is born with the body. One may die today or after hundreds of years, but death is sure for every living entity. Yes. First qualification for being in pure devotional service is to be if you're engaging, first of all, in actual devotional service that would be pleasing to Lord Krishna, favorable devotional service. The second one is the second two are things that you do not want. So one of them is that you do not want to be, aspiring for going to the heavenly planets or trying to. Your purpose of devotional service is not to. Unalloyed. Unalloyed means pure devotional service. Unalloyed means it's pure. And the third means basically you don't want to be trying to merge in the Brahmajyoti. Now I do a little devotional service, but maybe my next lifetime I can go to the heavenly planets. Maybe after that I can merge in the Brahmajyoti for eternity. But no. Pure devotional service means that you want to. You've got to be actually a sadhu. And Srila Prabhupada just defines sadhu. He says sadhu means that you're completely convinced, and of course you're acting also that you're completely convinced, that following the path of Krishna consciousness alone is the highest perfection of life. That's actually sadhu. That's really what sadhu actually means. If it's mixed, sadhu sadhu means that you're engaged, you're on the path of pure devotional service. That's really the real meaning of sadhu. You call something anyone you call anyone sadhu, but the actual meaning of it is that you're is someone who is dedicated to the path of devotional service and has no other material motives, either for improving their karma or going in the path of jhana to the point of wanting to merge into Brahma Jyoti or something. Your service can't be mixed. Pure devotional service means you engage in pure devotional service, and your goal of life is actually just that pure devotional service. It's not heavenly planets. It's not Brahma Jyoti. It's not mixed. So that is pure devotional service.
So 2 and 3 are very consistent.
Well, yeah, one has to do with gross material enjoyment, and the other has to do with kind of like giving up all activities altogether. So there. Battery's not plugged.
I can see it from here.
Yeah. Yeah, the batteries. Yes. Yes. So pure devotional service means the service is if we're engaging in the devotional service, okay, that service is there. But if we are engaging in devotional service and we have other motives, both the gross, karma, improve our karmic situation, or it's all, it's a subtle, it's a different, it's a subtle. It's not a pure, it's a contaminated situation. Just like sometimes the question came up, it was asked to Srila Prabhupada, actually, did we, because we think sometimes we fell from the spiritual world. Why would we fall from the spiritual world if everything was so nice? So Srila Prabhupada said, so the question was, did we actually fall from the spiritual world, or did we fall from the Brahma Jyoti, which is spiritual because it's Krishna's? And Srila Prabhupada says, falling means falling from a Krishna conscious position, and it means Brahma. We didn't fall from Brahma Jyoti. Of course, we could have at some point, but we didn't. We weren't originally in Brahma Jyoti. Anyway, we were in the spiritual world, and we fell from that Krishna conscious position. So Brahma Jyoti is also a contaminated position. Because you're rejecting Krishna, you're rejecting the form of Krishna, you're rejecting devotional service of Krishna. So if we got stuck in the Brahma Jyoti at some point, that was already a fallen condition, but we were originally in the spiritual world. Srila Prabhupada says. And that's why he wrote Back to Godhead. It says, top of every Back to Godhead. Where it says going back to Godhead, going back. So if we're going back, it means we were there before, and now we're just trying to get back. So what Srila Prabhupada gave us is a path of pure devotional service, and basically, between the teachings of it's called Sambandha. Sambandha means relationship, right? Relationship means there's Krishna is God, and we living entities are servants of God. Krishna is completely great in everything. We are little, you know, particles. We're very insignificant. So we understand, and Krishna is the protector and the maintainer. We are the maintained and the ones being protected. That's sambandha. So if we actually understand our sambandha position, then we will go to the next stage. Sambandha avideya. Avideya means basically sadhana bhakti was it refers to. So it's a process, the process of sadhana bhakti, so that we can become Krishna conscious. Sambandha avideya, and the prayojana means the goal, the ultimate goal, which of course pure love of Krishna. And actually, there are many levels of pure love of Krishna, Krishna prema. There's actually Krishna prema, but there's actually different levels within Krishna prema that's described in Nectar Devotion. It's a little beyond it, but we'll get to it when we read on it in Nectar Devotion. So this is so what Srila Prabhupada gave us was the process by which we engage in pure devotional service. So it's definitely, Srila Prabhupada did not translate any. He didn't give us the karma kanda section of the Vedas. He gave us Bhagavad Gita, which concludes in devotional service. He gave us Srimad-bhagavatam, which concludes in devotional service, and all the way through is pure devotional service. He gave us Nectar Devotion, which is the science of bhakti yoga, which is of course this devotional service. He gave us, every book that Srila Prabhupada gave us, and every lecture, every instruction is all about the path of pure devotional service. And he made it very clear: you don't waste your time worshiping the demigods. Don't waste your time. Definitely don't waste your time trying to merge in the Brahma Jyoti. Srila Prabhupada gave us the path for pure devotional service. So basically, if we're on at least the second class platform of devotional service, if we're on that second class platform, at least, then we are on the path of pure devotional service. That's why Srila Prabhupada says that on this path of second class devotee is considered, in one sense, to be a pure devotee. Not necessarily a Paramahansa, topmost like Srila Prabhupada, but at least where our activities are if we're following strictly as we're supposed to be, then our activities at least are on the path of pure devotional service. And in time, the consciousness will follow and will become fully Krishna conscious. So you have to be your activities have to be on the path of pure devotional service to make any real advancement. Very little can be done on the neophyte platform. So Srila Prabhupada says, don't remain on that platform. It's very shaky. And once we become very advanced on a second class platform, we'll eventually come to the first class platform. And we get to the stage of bhava, which is also still in the second class platform. We get to the stage of bhava, then we are basically bhava means we're completely spontaneous. In bhava, we get to start understanding who am I? My actual eternal relationship with Krishna. So how do you get from go from bhava to Krishna prema? What is there's no bhava means there's no material desires. There's no attempt for sense gratification. We're engaged on the pure devotional path, but we haven't come to the point of Krishna prema. So what do we need to still do? Yes, of course but how do we develop that relationship? Yeah. But to actually enter into our eternal relationship with Krishna, actually enter into that eternal relationship with Krishna, from the stage of bhava to Krishna prema, the only thing that holds us back is the degree of our intense desire to develop that relationship. Intense desire. Okay, I know I have the idea, I have some realization that I'm a gopi or I'm a coward boy or whatever, but I can't really fully enter into that because Krishna's not letting me. I'm not qualified yet. So how do we become qualified? Because we have to show and increase our desire more and more and more that I just have to have this. I want it. I'll do anything. I'm very totally eager to go to the next stage and actually being able to associate directly with Krishna. So we have to develop that intense desire, not just, yeah, it'll be nice, go in the spiritual world and see what it's like and come back and tell everyone. No, it has to be like an intense desire that this is what I want, this is all I want. And that is, and that we have to develop that tendency before we can go from bhava to Krishna prema. Okay, those are a couple points. We'll end here for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.